Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to start a weekend reading vlog. This weekend, Jessie is hosting the first annual Sleep When I'm Dead Readathon, and I'm super excited to be participating. Tonight, I will be joining her and some of the other hosts during some reading sprints on Jessie's channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What this readathon is just to celebrate the second birthday of the actual book club. As you guys know, Jessie is my best friend, and this year I have done a really good job of keeping up with all of the book club picks. So it's usually her and one or two other guests that join her on a live show at the end of the month to discuss one thriller book. The first year I was not good at keeping up with the picks. This year I've been doing excellent. So anyway, so she is hosting it by herself, but she asked some of the other co-hosts of this year if they were interested in hopping on and doing reading sprints with her, and a bunch of us were down for that, especially to kick off a weekend readathon weekend. Anyway, it is day one of the Sleep When I'm Dead readathon, and I just thought I would sit down and share my TBR with you, or my tentative TBR. The only book that I know for sure that I need to read this weekend is The Good Lie by A.R. Torrey. A.R. Torrey has kind of sort of been hit or miss, but I really loved the Girl in 6E trilogy, and I've read a couple other books by this author, but this one is short, and this is one that I did not read last year. I planned on it, I bought the book, but I never read it. So one of the prompts is to read a book club book that you haven't read or you haven't gotten to. So that is what I'm going to be reading for that prompt. So I'm probably going to go ahead and start it this afternoon, and then maybe I'll be reading this on reading sprints tonight. I have some other options. I still have a few. It's kind of funny because just because of the timing of this, I might end up reading Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang, which I don't think is a thriller. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. It says white lies, dark humor, deadly consequences. Maybe this is a thriller. Maybe this does count. I'm gonna look this up, but I need to read this for my in-person book club, and we are actually meeting next week, so I kind of need to read this. And then some other options that I have are All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby, Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney, and The Quiet Tenant by Clemence McCallan. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So yeah, but I kind of need to read both of these. And then what other, we'll see how the weekend unfolds. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday readathon, but whichever books I do not get to in this reading vlog, I'm still hoping to read them this month. I also have this fun chocolate bar to try. Yeah. I'm not really sure if it's origin, like what country it's from, but it looks good. It's caramel. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive in to this chocolate bar. Okay, so this is what the chocolate bar looks like. Oh, it's so melty. Oh, it has like a little cow. I don't know if you can see it, but on this one, it has a little cow. Let me see if I can get a better view. And of course, Charlie, you cannot have the chocolate bar, but here it is. We'll eat the cow piece. Taste test time. It melts in your mouth. Hello besties, I thought I could give you a reading update. I'm not very far. I only made it to chapter 7, page 33, but I want to give my initial impressions and also just kind of a rundown of what's happening. We have Gwen, who is a psychiatrist, and she is an expert on killers, okay? That's a main character. Then we have this guy, 𝒍𝒏𝒂𝒔, and he is a defense attorney, and he's going to be an important character. And then there is also the Bloody Heart serial killer, which I guess is what this whole book is about. Okay, so the very beginning of a novel, this boy named Scott stumbles home, and he had been missing for several weeks, and everybody assumed that he was going to be the next victim of the Bloody Heart serial killer. And the reason why they said that is because in the past, young boys like Scott had been taken, and then several weeks later their bodies were turning up, and Scott came home dragging his feet, escaping from this serial killer, and he identified the serial killer as a local high school teacher named Randall Thompson. And he said, that's the guy that kidnapped me, that's the killer. And then as far as everybody is concerned, it's an open and closed case. The Bloody Heart killer is this teacher, Randall Thompson. And then in Gwen's, so that's part of the story. But then we have Gwen, who is, she basically talks to people that, like, her clients are people that want to kill someone. But she says that most of them, like, actually don't want to kill someone. That, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but you would just have to read the book. But she has this client that she's talking to, or she has been talking to, and then the next thing she knows, she's finding out he's been wanting to kill his wife. And the next thing you know, him and his wife are found dead in their home. Her from a supposed heart attack, and him from an inflicted knife wound. So she goes to their funeral, and then after that she goes to this bar, or I don't know, pub, sports bar, whatever, restaurant, and she's drinking some beers, and this guy approaches her. One thing leads to another. They end up going back to her house, and then the next morning she sees him, and it is 𝒍𝒏𝒂𝒔, the defense attorney. Of course, she doesn't really know any of this at the time, like how connected he is to everything that she's dealing with. But the next morning she goes downstairs and sees him looking through one of her case files that she left open in her office. And then she redials the number on the phone, and it calls his law office, and then she realizes, pieces it together, who he is, and she's like, oh, that's the father of Gabe, which I'm guessing is another one of the Bloody Heart serial killer's victims. So that's kind of where we are right now. That is the initial setup. And then of course the back says that, so basically it's an open and shut case for this teacher that Scott said he's the killer. So they're about to put this man behind bars, and then all of a sudden this defense attorney, 𝒍𝒏𝒂𝒔, steps in and says, no, 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 he's not the killer, he's innocent. And then as Gwen and Robert grow closer, she dives deeper into the investigation, and grave questions arise. And it seems like Robert is hiding a secret, and I don't know what it's gonna be, but they're looking for the truth. They're hiding it too. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive back in, but oh, this is gonna be a doozy. You guys, I think in a video you haven't seen yet, I talked about how I broke my hand fan that I talked about in my summer favorites, and it is still summer here, y'all. But I want you to take a look at my favorite book of all time, Tomorrow, Tomorrow, Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. Take a look at it, okay? And now, together, let's look at my new fan. Oh, it comes in this nice little sleeve. Look at it. Can you guys? Look, look, look. Ah! Oh my gosh, you guys. I just finished The Good Lie by A.R. Torrey, and wow, what a whirlwind this was. I really liked it. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars. It was really good. It was short. I liked it. I read it all in a day. It's about 7:16, 7:18 right now. And yeah, I'm gonna give this 4 stars. It was super intriguing. I liked the psychiatrist's point of view. I liked how the defense attorney and her were working together to like figure things out. I like creating the whole like serial killer profile thing. And I like hidden secrets and stuff like that. Like, this was really good. But reading sprint starts soon, and I'm behind on like all of my messages that I need to catch up on. So I'm gonna try to catch up on some messages, and then I'm trying to find where, okay, here it is. Okay. Okay. There we go. I need to find the book that I'm going to read tonight during reading sprints, which is going to be Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, which is going to be my first book by this author. I'm reading this for my in-person book club. This one says White Lies, Dark Humor, Deadly Consequences. Oh, by the way, I did check on Goodreads, and thriller is listed as one of the genres. Not the top genres, but it's like part of it, you know? Best-selling sensation Juniper Song is not who she says she is. She didn't write the book she claims she wrote, and she is most certainly not Asian American in this chilling and hilariously cutting novel. Here is the title page. I'm gonna try to find this on audiobook somewhere, so I will be ready to go for sprints tonight, but I also need to like catch up with my friends and stuff like that. I also have some Tim Tams for a snack, and I need to wash my coffee mug out so I can have some coffee for reading sprints. Whew, we have a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it. Let's go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first night of Sleep When I'm Dead Readathon. As you can tell, I have a lot of ladies here tonight, which I'm super excited about.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gwen. My channel name is Gwendolyn Kinsinger. And unlike, I think, everybody here, my Instagram is different than my YouTube. So my Instagram is actually Lavender Mud. Let's see, what other questions did you have for me tonight? I'm actually going to be reading Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I've never read anything by this author before, but I'm reading it not only because I guess yellow is my favorite color, so it fits that prompt, but like I said, I need to read it for my in-person book club, and it does have like thrilling elements in it, so I need to knock it out before Wednesday, and I'm like, let's do it. But earlier today, I read the one, a book that was like a past book club pick. I read The Good Lie by A.R. Torrey, and I'm so glad I picked this one up to read because it was really good. And it's so funny because in the first year of the book club, I basically don't think I read any of the books, but I showed up to every single live show and stayed for the spoiler discussion and everything, which I stayed for this, but apparently it's been enough time because I had forgotten everything that her and Ashley talked about. But my plan either later tonight or tomorrow sometime is to go back and watch the live show knowing the story myself, because I rated it 4 stars. It was really good, and it's short. So if you're looking for a book to fit that prompt, I highly recommend this one. Hello, friends. I just went and washed my face and put my PJs on because reading sprints are over, but I did want to give you an update on Yellowface. I read 147 pages. I'm on 148. I feel like this is a story that like needs to be written. It's infuriating to read about. It's about a white woman who steals a friend of hers who is Chinese, steals her story, and it is a Chinese like history story, almost like about war and stuff like that. And she's hanging out with her friend one night. They're both authors, but one is very successful. Athena is very successful. She's the Chinese author. And then Junie, the white woman, has not been as successul, and she's always envied and been jealous of Athena. Well, one night they're hanging out at Athena's house, and they're having a contest, like who can eat the most pancakes, and Athena like chokes on a pancake and literally dies. And Junie takes the manuscript that was just like laying on her desk, and she does like edit it and like put some of her own spin on it, but for the majority it's all plagiarized. It's all Athena's. And now she's like super successful. It's, you know, on the New York Times best-selling list, and I don't know, it's just crazy to think about someone actually doing that. And I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen, because who knows, but I don't know, she's just very infuriating how she's like, she knows she did something wrong, but she like justifies it in some way. Like, well, isn't it better that I do this and her story get out into the world than I like don't do it? And it's like, no girl, it's not better. Non-reading update. It's been a busy day. Woke up and took care of some work things, and then went to my mother-in-law's. Well, we went to Walgreens, and we were at Walgreens for 40 minutes. And then we went to my mother-in-law's, took care of some things over there. We went to Harris Teeter to get lunch. I got a salad, Daniel got Chinese, and then we came home and ate and napped, and now it is 5 p.m. So the whole day has passed, but now I'm ready to sit down and hopefully finish Yellowface. I'm about halfway, so I have a good bit to go. I don't know what to expect in the second half. It says it wants a brilliant satire that mixes horror and humor, a nuanced exploration of race, hereditary identity, and diversity in publishing, and an honest look at the hell that is social media. So yeah, it's definitely satirical, and I really don't like satirical things. I found that out in college. Not something I would have picked up on my own, but I feel like if you like satirical things and you like those things that I was talking about, that you would probably really enjoy this book. I'm just not the audience for this book, but I try to read every single book that my in-person book club picks. I'm just eating a snack, some baguette and brie cheese. I also just finished Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, and as expected, I did not like it. It had some good things to say about the publishing industry and about social media and things like that, but this was just not my sort of book, so I'm gonna rate it 2 stars. All right, Daniel interrupted, but as I was saying, I finished Yellowface. I'm giving it 2 stars. It's not something I would have picked up myself. I think if you like satirical stories, and you especially like books about books and publishing and social media and authors and women behaving badly and stuff like that, you will really, really like this. It's a Reese's book club pick. So I know a lot of people are going to enjoy this story. I was just not the target audience. So I'm still going to chalk it up to a win because I read something outside of my comfort zone and I'm keeping up with the books that my in-person book club chooses. So now I have to figure out how to write a review for that one. And then we get to pick what I'm going to read next. We have The Quiet Tenant. I can start that. I could start All the Sinners Bleed, or I could start Good Bad Girl. I'm planning to read all of these this month, but I'm wondering which one I should start first. I really need to get The Darkest Prayer by 𝒂𝒂💏. Is that on my wish list? I thought it was. See, that's the thing. I thought it was on my wish list, and I thought someone bought it for me because it disappeared off my wish list, but I never received it. So I need to check out my Amazon wish list. Okay. And I need to put The Darkest Prayer on there because I want to read all of 𝒂𝒂💏's books. I've read Razorblade Tears. I've read Blacktop Wasteland. I'm going to read All the Sinners Bleed, and I need my Darkest Prayer. All right, that is back on my wish list. But yeah, I really do like this author a lot. I love 𝒂𝒂💏's characters. And he writes high octane thrillers, which are my favorite. So it's like, there's nothing not to love about his stories. But I think because I'm reading for a readathon and I really only have like one day to dedicate to it, I don't think this is the best bet, nor do I believe this is the best bet, because I feel like this is going to take me a little bit because it's multiple POVs, there's multiple storylines going, and I just want to spend more time with this one. So I have heard from Rachel that this one, Rachel from Happy Go Lovely Sleeves, that this is like multiple POVs, short chapters, and it goes quick. So I think I'm gonna go with the Alice Feeney book, which is Good Bad Girl. I've also read quite a few Alice Feeney books. I think there's only one. Okay, Sometimes I Lie I've read. Oh no, I haven't read I Know Who You Are or His and Hers. But, and I Know Who You Are was a past book club pick for Sleep When I'm Dead. But Rock, Paper, Scissors I read, Daisy Darker I read, and now I'm reading this one. So it will be my fourth Alice Feeney book. So this is the book we're going to read next. I hope I enjoy it. My camera just shut off mid-recording, so I don't know what was said and what wasn't, or what was captured and what wasn't. But my point is that if you plan to participate in a readathon and they plan to host reading sprints, like block that time off in your schedule and plan to join, because you get a lot of reading done during that time, and also you just get to connect with the hosts and other readers participating in that readathon. So the last book on my TBR, well, I really didn't have a TBR for this readathon, but the last book I'm hoping to get to is Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney. I told you guys this last night. I didn't start it at all. I just stuck my bookmark right here in the end pages. I'm gonna hop on reading sprints, and then I will catch you up after reading sprints and let you know how much I managed to read and what I thought. I've already read 2 books for the readathon, and I'm hoping to finish one today to just round it out on like a nice 3-day readathon, 3 books. So far I read The Good Lie by A.R. Torrey for the backlist like book club pick, and I rated it 4 stars. I read Yellow Face for my favorite color on the cover, and I didn't love it. So, but I don't want to talk about it because a lot of people, like, I posted my review on Instagram and a lot of people were like, oh, what happened? Well, I was never set up to like the book because it's satirical and I don't like satirical stuff. It's about like books and publishing and authors and Twitter and canceling people and like all of these other things. And like, I don't like that stuff. So I wasn't set up to like the book from the jump, you know, like it's not about stuff that I would normally read, but again, my book club picked it. So I read it because I like to go all in on book clubs and like, you know, expand my reading and stuff like that. So I tried it. It's fine. Moving on. Today, I'm hoping to read Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney. And I'm doing this because Rachel has recently been raving about this book. I also do enjoy Alice Feeney books. I think this will be my 4th one by her. And Rachel said like short chapters, fast paced. And I'm like, yes. So this is the book that I will hopefully be starting and finishing, you know, sometime today. Reading sprints are over. It is time for a book update. I did start this on sprints. I read a good chunk here. I'm currently on page 114 and I think it's around like 300-ish pages. Let's see, 304. So like I'm already a third of the way through it. So I feel really good about that. I stand by what I said on the reading sprints, and that was that it is very different than anything I have ever read by Alice Feeney before. I have read Sometimes I Lie. That was her debut. That is the book that I also read first. I read Rock, Paper, Scissors and really liked that. I also read Daisy Darker and really liked that. And now I'm reading this one. So it's my 4th book and it is just so different. I was saying in the reading sprints that if you took the author's name off of this book and had me read it, I would not know that Alice Feeney was the author. It just feels very much more domestic, very much more like mother, daughter, bad girl things happening. Everybody has secrets. They're not revealing what their secret is. And it's just like a big web of like reveals and lies and secrets. And while I love that, that is not what I have come to expect from Alice Feeney. So this feels like a really big departure from her other books. So I fear I'm not going to enjoy it as much as I have her other books. I don't know. I think Daisy Darker was probably my favorite book by her, but yeah, this isn't what I was expecting, but I'm still enjoying it. I'm still gonna finish it. I'm still gonna share my thoughts. All right, y'all. I just finished. I didn't like it. I really did not like it. I could totally be convinced that Alice Feeney did not write this book. I did not like it. It wasn't mysterious. It wasn't creepy. It was just like a plain domestic messy web of like who is connected to who and how are they connected and why are they connected and how did they get connected that way. Like, it was so boring. I didn't care how they were all connected. It is much more a character-driven story, but even saying that, it was hard to keep the characters straight in my head. I will say one thing that helped is that each POV, it would say the name of the person, and it had this little symbol that would like remind you of which person was what. And that is the only way I was really able to keep them straight. Edith was older, like she was elderly. She was 80, I think. And Patience was younger, around like 18 to 20. But Frankie and Cleo were both very similar in age, or at least it felt like that. And I didn't care. But the good news is that I read it, I finished it, and that means that I completed my goal of reading 3 books in 3 days for this weekend reading vlog. So to quickly wrap up what I read for what prompt, I started the readathon by reading The Good Life by A.R. Torrey, which is the book that I chose to read for a backlist book club pick, and I rated it 4 stars. Then I moved on to Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, which is for the prompt, read a book with your favorite color on the cover, and I rated this one 2 stars. And then finally I finished it up with a book that was recommended. And I feel like I've read Alice Feeney, so I had planned to pick it up anyway, but I know Rachel was really raving about it. So anyway, another 2 stars. I think there are going to be some people that like enjoy it, but it was just like way too slow paced, and like I just didn't care. It's not my type of thriller. It's more mysterious than thrilling, and it almost felt like a locked room mystery, but it wasn't at all a locked room mystery. It just had those vibes and that pacing. So, and that like build of characters. So yeah, so 3 books in 3 days. I call it a success. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you participated down in the comment section down below, and I hope you guys are having a lovely day or night, and I'll see you guys again in another video very soon. Bye friends.